Hi and welcome to Square Layer. Now the section pattern for Square Layer is very similar to long one length. We're going from the apex of the head where the comb balances to directly behind the back of the ear. And the real thing you need to remember with a square layer and the rounded layer as well is we've got a starting point and end point. So we've got an A and a B, so it's from the apex, and our B section is going to be the peripheral ridge or the bevel of the head. And this is where the head is at its widest. So section 1 is going to be 1 centimetre deep from straight down the centre of the back to where the bevel of the head is. And then we're going to elevate this vertically. So you can see that's the guide. I'm going to come square off that. And we're going to club cut this just to keep it nice and tidy. Some of your dolls would be a bit finer. If this was a real client, then you could possibly point cut it just to get a bit of filter. We're then going to use a pie section. The pie section means we come diagonally and we move his feet across pie section. So again, coming from the apex, pick the previous section up as our guide. I've moved my body position round. There's my guide. And come square off that. Lower it down. Take a step. Again, another pie section. Pick that whole section up. And we're not pulling that back. We're not pulling it towards us because that will create a longer angle. That will create over direction. Up, square. Again, keeping that moisture content nice so that you kind of, as the hair's stretching, it's all the same. And then finally, I'm now stood directly behind for section 4. And I'll pull that all up, just getting that tension in. There's my guide. And what you should end up with is a solid line. Don't kill yourself, this is a doll's head, so the elasticity is all over. When we've done that, we're going to go back to section 1, directly down the centre. Just comb all that out. And we're going to swap our body position. So we cut the right side and we're stood on the left and work our way around. And when we cut the left side, we're stood on the right and work in the opposite direction. So again, we're going to pie section this through, coming from the back. Elevating everything up. There's his guide. If you're not able to see a guide, go back. Don't just pretend or think that you know where that line is. If in any haircut, if you're unsure where your guide is, it means that your section's too thick and your guide is too fine. So go back to your previous section. Again, I've moved my body position round. I'm now the section where I'm stood directly around the back. As I said earlier, this haircut square layer is the haircut that you would use that would reduce the least amount of hair. It's for fine to medium hair because it's only going to give a soft layer. It's not supposed to take a lot of weight out of it. So if you've got a client with fine to medium long hair, then a square layer is a perfect haircut. So we've done both sides and now we need to take a section that comes across the whole back and cross-check that section to make sure that we've got the same amount of angle on both and that it is totally square. Luckily dropped out of my sides there. Just any little tidy up bits. So you have to square line. We're then going to bring our sides in. And we're going to now do vertical sections. So we're going to do vertical sections. And the reason we have to, on any haircut, the reason we have to do pie sections at the back is because that's where the head is round. In the sides, the head is square. So we can actually do vertical sections. I'll just turn that round to there. So we're going to take a little piece of our side section, and again we're going to stand directly behind the back. Elevate vertically. Again, I can see that's where my guide is. As I said earlier, I'm not pulling everything back towards the crown. I'm not over directing. I think one of the things that we do occasionally see when it comes to fashion, you saw some images, is the overlayering of hair. You know, particularly when we're doing the big bouncy blow dry, we're really overlayering hair. I think a lot of stylists got into that. The problem with that is you can't get volume out of something that's very, very short. No layer pattern should be more than 6 to 8 inches of its perimeter, otherwise it's layered through too short. We're then going to cross, so we've cutting that, and now we're going to cross check it by coming up to it. We always cross check every haircut. So I'll just slightly turn. I'm going to come across, bring this up. Any little